This is the funnest night ever!
Quit yanking our anuses! Two people get together, do something social, have a few drinks, yada yada yada.
It's called Two Brothers. Two Brothers. It's just called Two Brothers.
Welcome to another episode of Two Brothers. I am Alberto,
Edgar.
and this episode we're going to be still staying on the topic of video games, and we're going to be talking about one of our other favorite franchises, which is franchises. That's a weird one. Which is the FromSoftware games. More specifically, like, you know, Dark Souls, Demon Souls,
Bloodborne.
We're going to be talking about the games that we played, because we still haven't played Demon Souls or any of the other, like, FromSoftware games that they've made.
Like what?
Like Kingsfield. There's that one game that's like,
Yeah, so it's gonna be
play
just...
yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're not talking about all the FromSoftware games. We're just going to talk about
So why'd you open it
we
like
played.
that? We're gonna talk about the Souls games. You know?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna get at. That's what I was talking about. You fucking prick. Jesus. We're not talking about all the FromSoftware games. We're just talking about the Dark Souls games, and like Bloodborne and all that shit. Also, these past few episodes, you've probably been hearing, you know, the heater in the background. We're not gonna fix that. So I don't know what the fuck.
We tried, and there's
if you're annoyed about that, I'm sorry, but
there's always something in the background.
So we're still new to this shit. This is not even the best setup to be recording a podcast. We're doing it in my bedroom. It's not like the most professional setting. So that's just a FYI. Yeah, man. I mean, you want to add anything in before we just jump right in, or what?
Well, last episode we talked about Resident Evil. Just to let anybody know, if we did mention or not mention that this year is the 25th anniversary of Resident Evil. So, you know, it was just weird that everything fell together. You know, we started playing Resident Evil early this year. We started watching videos and so on and so forth. And yeah, we figured, and we noticed that it was the 25th anniversary. It was March 22nd, so...
Yeah, so...
It's letting you guys know, also, if you guys are playing Resident Evil out there.
It's Resident Evil year, as some people have been referring it to, so... but another great set of games that we're going to talk about are the Dark Souls games. Where should we jump in, or should we just talk about which ones are our favorites? Should we just start from the first all the way through, or like...
Or you want to start how you got into it first? You're the one who introduced me to the Soul games.
Yeah,
there's always something good when, like how we did with Resident Evil, how we got started. Like how did that start for us? Right. For you, this is how you. Well, first you're the one who got into it, then I got into it later on. So if you want to start with that,
yeah. So like a kind of a quick story is I started playing Dark Souls when the second one came out.
Dark Souls 2.
I did it to kind of distract myself from having had like. My wisdom teeth taken out. So while I was recovering from that, I decided to play Dark Souls 2. And my first experience with it was like, it was just a really weird and challenging game that I never played a game like Dark Souls before. So playing Dark Souls 2 was just really...
That had to come from somewhere though. Like, what made you pick this like genre of a game that...
Well, for people who know... two best friends, you know, Matt and Pat from YouTube. Pat was the one who kind of hyped it up, you know, like the Dark Souls games and everything. So that's how I was kind of interested in it. Okay. I was intrigued by it. That's why I went to go and pick it up. Okay. After his, you know, recommendation. So that's when I started to get into the Dark Souls games. I started with 2. And from then, I worked my way backwards a little bit.
Not the worst one, but not the best one. That's saying you started where someone that recommended a Souls game wouldn't say to start there, but
Yeah, I mean, at the time, nobody knew how Dark Souls 2 was going to turn out.
Yeah.
And when I jumped into it, I was playing alongside with everybody, and then after a while, people kind of came to the consensus that Dark Souls 2 just wasn't as good as the first one. But I mean, I think that's one of the positive things that we can talk about with Dark Souls is, I don't know why I'm saying positive, like it's a fucking terrible franchise, but like one of the great things about it is, even if the game isn't great, it's still better than a lot of games that came out that year for with Dark Souls 2.
Okay.
Even though it wasn't as highly praised as the first one.
Wasn't that the same year also, or a year later, that you picked up Demon Souls?
Yeah, like I was gonna say, I worked backwards after Dark Souls 2, and I played Dark Souls 1. I didn't pass Dark Souls 1 because that one was just even more mysterious and challenging than the second one. And then Demon Souls was just really fucking weird and also challenging.
I know you just briefly played that game.
Yeah,
so.
I don't think I even made it to the first zone of the game, because that was just I just couldn't get into it. Also, playing Dark Souls 2 is not the most toughest of the Dark Souls games. And so going back to the other ones, they were a lot more challenging, and even though it had some of the same mechanics, I don't know, I just felt like at the time Dark Souls 2 was just, that was my thing, the vanilla version of Dark Souls 2.
Yeah,
because there's that updated version that's now become like the main Dark Souls 2 game that everyone like plays now. But yeah, that's how I got into the Souls games, and from then on, the rest is history, as they say. That's when I got into like Bloodborne, Dark Souls 3, and all that other shit. But how did you get into it? Because you said that I got you into it.
You did.
But what made you want to try it out?
At first, when you picked up Dark Souls 2, I heard of it, like that type of game that I would hear that it would rage people. Like it was just that type of game that you'll die and start all over type of thing. Like I was like, why the fuck would you want to try this?
Right.
It doesn't seem fun. Like it's a challenging, tough game for a beginner that doesn't know what you don't know what to do or what to like. There's different paths too, so I didn't know what got your interest in that. Then with Demon Souls, I'm like, come on, Albert. Again, you're gonna get through this. And I think the one that caught my eye was Bloodborne.
Right.
The way you talked about it, and the way I saw you play it, and the atmosphere, the game mechanics, everything, the story.
I think that's where but a lot of the newer, I guess, people started to play is
I'm
with Bloodborne.
happy to say that I started with Bloodborne,
which is a great place to start with the Souls games. So
I didn't want to at first because fuck man, this looks challenging. I saw you have trouble with it, but you were pushing me on, egging me on, like, hey, try it on.
Yeah,
try it. I think you're gonna like it, and I did.
Yeah,
there's a learning curve in each game, Dark Souls and Bloodborne, because they're different. But you were there to teach me. Then from then on, I carried my own. And
I think that's one of the unique things about the Souls games is that even though they're really challenging, getting over that. Getting over those curves, those like challenging like bosses and shit like that. That's where the fun comes from.
Yeah, it does.
That's what keeps you coming back. Is like, you're this close to like defeating the fucking boss or whatever, or getting to that bonfire, and you die, and it sets you back all the way to the beginning of the zone or whatever. And that's what keeps you going, because you want to go collect your souls again. You want to you want to fight that one fucking enemy that killed you.
Get revenge. Get your
So that's where the thrill comes from. Even though it's really challenging, it's very like, I don't know. You like to fucking suffer in that game.
It's weird, yeah. Like I keep telling you, even for me it's Bloodborne, but if I start playing any Souls-like game or Dark Souls or any of that type of game, it'll be my main game for the rest of the month until I beat it. That's how soul-like games, or like Dark Souls, introduced me to that genre.
Mm-hmm.
It's, I hate to say, it's kind of like a drug, you know?
Yeah, Dark Souls. Dark Souls is what created that genre,
Yeah.
the Souls-like genre. You know, where games started to play like fucking Dark Souls, and they had the same mechanics.
And I always tell you, like, if you download it, and if I just start playing a little bit of Bloodborne, I can't drop it.
You have to see.
I gotta see the whole, even with the DLC, I gotta see the whole thing through.
Yeah.
Again, so yeah.
Yeah, man, fucking Bloodborne. Let's, if we're to, talk about each individual game, I mean, we have to talk about Bloodborne first, because that's my favorite.
So I think for all of us who's listening, I don't know, but for both of us is our favorite.
And so your friends too, they really like Bloodborne.
I introduced him to it.
Yeah.
And he liked it. And my friend Josh, we created a bond together playing that game.
Yeah, I could tell.
And we always bring it up every time we think about the good times. And yeah, but because he's in the military.
Shout out to Josh, he's in the military.
And we don't have that much time anymore, and that's all we did. Well, like late nights and our days off, and we would see each other at work. We worked at the same job together. That's how we met. And he was, I'll get off of work, and I'm gonna start doing this challenge
dungeons,
and I'll wait for you, and this and that, and we would do that all day. Talk about it at work, and after work we'll hop on Bloodborne, and it was a thing for months. I think that's why it has a special place in my heart, because of Bloodborne. And he also introduced it to other friends, Josh.
Yeah.
So he just created something big for us. So, what about you?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Bloodborne just has a different vibe from all the other Souls games. It has like a H.P. Lovecraft vibe. It's like the closest thing we'll get to an H.P. Lovecraft video game, and what better developer to do it than FromSoftware, And so you got a really engrossing story that if you want to, you can delve deep into it.
Yeah.
If you want to play just to play it and fight like all the bosses and shit like that, you can also do that. And just, I don't know, like when I first picked it up, obviously to people who are listening who play the Souls games, Bloodborne was completely different because you didn't have a shield to use. You start off with like a weapon in your right hand and a gun, and that's it. You don't have a shield or anything like that. You can't block. You have to dodge. So all these different like new mechanics in Bloodborne that you had to adapt to. Like that's what really sucked me in for like a better part of the playthrough.
I think before its release, you were watching the E3 PlayStation convention thing. Sorry with the noise, guys. And when they announced the trailer for it, dude, I think it grabbed me by the trailer. But I was kind of scared to take that challenge or start that game because, like, fuck, man, they looked, to be honest, looked scary at first. Like,
yeah, it could be categorized as a horror game too. It's you're fighting a bunch of fucking monsters and everyone's turning into beasts and shit.
Yeah.
Like it definitely has like a horror vibe to it as well. And also the DLC too, when that came out, that was even really heavy, like H.P. Lovecraft vibes with that game, or that DLC. And then you added the multiplayer too, which is very, very much in the same vein as like Dark Souls, where you call other people to help you and shit like that. But you can also, like you mentioned, go to challenge dungeons together and fight bosses. And some challenge dungeons like would cut your health in half.
Yeah.
Some of them like had these different bosses that you never would encounter in the main game. Mm-hmm. You get different weapons that you wouldn't get in the main game. Like there was so much incentive to play that game after you passed it. It's just that it was fucking insane.
Yeah. Josh, fucking he 100% it without me, fucking prick.
I don't think I've 100% of that.
No,
game.
he tried to help me before he joined the military, but I think we were exactly in that last dungeon where you get that trophy to get to 100% it, but
Damn.
yeah, so yeah, it just Bloodborne is one of those games I don't know how to explain it. It's so fun, it's so addicting, and
for the uninitiated,
Yeah.
to people who haven't played any of the Souls games, I recommend starting with Bloodborne.
I think so too.
Either Bloodborne or the first Dark Souls.
Yeah.
I would say Dark Souls 2, but we'll get into that in a little bit. We'll keep talking about Bloodborne because another thing that I really want to talk about is like the enemy design. The enemies in those games. That's what really made it like a horror game too. You have all these different types of fucking weird monsters and like
creatures and
it's just like you have a fucking
and hunters too. You don't fight just monsters.
You fight hunters. You fight like fucking huge ass spiders and shit.
Yeah.
There's like a crow's head on a fucking dog's face or like head part area, whatever the fuck. Like it's like this is weird. Like towards the end, it gets really fucking weird and crazy and shit with all the enemies and.
Don't you fight witches like those fucking?
Yeah, oh fuck! They scream at you and shit. That was really terrifying to go through that. I think it's called Witches of Blood or some shit.
What are those enemies that towards the end almost? I think they grab you and they put you in a sack, don't they?
Yeah, they put you in your sack or something.
Then they sent you somewhere else, like part of the map or that area.
And then you're like locked in there for a little bit. And then you're like fucking scared that maybe you're never going to get out. You want to restart your game or some shit. Like
I don't know. To this day, I haven't seen videos cover it. I want to cover it in my podcast. When we and Josh were playing, and we had trouble with this motherfucker. I think, what's his name?
Mikolash?
I
can already tell what the fuck you're talking about.
With the fucking cage head and shit.
Fuck that boss, man.
Yeah,
fuck that boss.
What we did, we figured out that there's some type of glitch. Because in that boss battle, he jumps through mirrors, right? I think. Yeah. And you gotta keep catching up to him and so on and so forth. And that shit's annoying.
Mm-hmm.
So, one time me and my friend were... said, okay, I'm going to follow him and wait by the mirror downstairs, and he's going to pop out. And we figured out that once he pops out, you hit him, and he just stands there. He doesn't leave. So he keeps trying to...
So you almost get like in a stun lock.
Yeah, stun lock.
Almost.
You got to keep him there until your other friend comes and does the same thing. So if you got trouble with that guy, there's a little, glitch.
Is that even something you can do now?
You can still do it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's to this day, I don't think people know about that. Or they do.
That's such a fucking bullshit boss. I hate it so much.
Yeah, because the tentacles, remember, he throws them like that or whatever?
Yeah,
and that takes half of your health? Oh, no, when he explodes or something, remember, he goes like,
yeah.
Like a lot of little fucking lights and it hits you. Yeah.
Fuck, dude. Yeah, see, even talking about that makes me so, like, frustrated, man. It pisses me off.
What was it that... It was the DLC boss, the last one. In the ocean? What was it?
Cause, I think?
It fucked you up, didn't it?
It made me physically sick. I don't know what the fuck that DLC did, but I remember playing it. I was fine up until that point.
Uh-huh.
I got so fucking mad that I got sick. I got like a headache. I felt like nauseous. I felt really weak and tired. Like the energy drained out of me. It took me 2 weeks to recover, and then I came back and I beat that boss on my first try.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Well, by yourself or yet?
No, by myself.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if I'm like superstitious or whatever, but I feel like that game got me fucking sick. That DLC got me physically ill.
Well, yeah, with all the anger and like hyper focus and all this shit, you were into it so much. I think I can see that.
I changed to a different person.
Yeah.
Like Mike Tyson.
Yeah, I remember.
I'm not that person anymore.
Like especially in the challenge dungeons, we would laugh at each other. You got killed.
Yeah.
And, like, multiple tries down the line, like, dying over and over. Me and Josh, where we just be quiet through our mics, just, just we got serious all of a sudden. Like, we didn't start joking anymore. We got into it and frustrated because
Yeah, that's another thing, that you play music. You got your own little playlist of songs that you want to play when you're beating that fucking boss and shit.
Yeah.
No other game does that. I don't think,
Nope.
So that's Bloodborne. We can talk about, again, we
Bloodborne.
say this shit all the time in every episode.
Yeah, we do.
We can talk about this all day.
And we can.
We might. Maybe we might revisit Bloodborne and just talk about that, maybe like for a Halloween thing.
And we would probably have our friends talk about it, because...
Yeah, we could invite...
And see what they say about it.
The ones who have played it at least. I don't know. I think Alan's touched it briefly.
Tell that Ding Dong to fucking play it already. It's been years.
Oh, yeah, it has. But jumping off of Bloodborne, let's talk about... let's talk about Dark Souls 1, because I know that's a game that you haven't played as much. I don't know if you passed it. Have you passed it?
I haven't beaten it.
But you've gotten close.
I got
so
like
you
at the very
enough.
end of it.
Right.
So
before I talk about what I think of Dark Souls, what's your thoughts on the first one?
It's kind of like not hard, but it's kind of weird to compare it to like Bloodborne or Dark Souls 3, because Dark Souls 3 came after Bloodborne or before?
It came out after 2015, I think.
Yeah. So jumping off of Bloodborne to Dark Souls 3, then going backwards, it's kind of different because they have new game mechanics in those games. And so some certain things that if you go back, then you have that muscle memory. And why didn't my character didn't do that move? Oh, because it's
it's the first one.
It's the first one. So it's kind of hard because I don't want to say it's my least favorite, but it's not. How do you try to say? It's not my least favorite as Dark Souls 2 though. Dark Souls 2.
Let's save it for Dark Souls 2. But
I want to say I had fun with it.
Yeah, me too. I've replayed it recently, and it's still, Dark Souls still holds up. The first one, it really still holds up if you have the patience for it. Because if you're jumping into the Souls games for the first time, a lot of people would say not to look up any guides and just play it through blindly and shit. And that's what I recommend at first, until you hit until you hit a brick wall and you can't fucking make any progress. I think that's when you should look up a guide for it. But try to play Dark Souls 1 without looking shit up, and experience it for what it is and how it was intended to be played. It still holds up, like playing through it like that. But of course, there are some kind of bullshit things in that game that you can't really get around unless you look up a guide. Like there's certain, I want to say key items, but certain items that will really help you throughout the game. That if you didn't have them, you'd be fucking
lost.
You'd be lost, or you wouldn't make as much progress. That's when I started looking up guides for it and walkthroughs for it. Not the best way to play through Dark Souls, but
you were my guide for the Dark Souls. That's why it was kind of easy for me.
Yeah, that's what made it. That's what made Dark Souls 1 pretty easy, because once you look up a walkthrough, obviously they show you how to beat the boss, or good strategies for it. But there's some shit in there I can't really recall, even though I played it fucking recently. I'm trying to think of like an example of. Well, I guess it's not a major thing, but there is an item where, like, a ring that when you get to a certain area, I think it's called, it's that one area, I think, where like the frame rate really shits its pants. I forgot what it's called. It's like,
ain't it with the dark place? You only have
it's like really dark and shit. I can't fucking
Ain't it something
remember.
with the giants though?
Yeah, I want to look it up so bad. But anyways, that area,
Yeah.
for the most, that area you can farm for large Titanite shards. But if you walk through the area, you get poisoned, and also you walk slowly because you're walking in like water or some shit, like toxic waste. And there's a ring that allows you to walk at normal speed, so that way you can start to farm the enemies more faster and quicker. And if you didn't know where that ring is at, that area is like really tough to fucking farm for items unless you have that one ring, and they don't tell you where to find it if you're playing it for the first time.
Okay.
That's just like one small example. I mean, I can't really recall other, bigger examples, but that's just one. But even then, Dark Souls 1 is just still...
I would say not to look up a walkthrough, more of a item guide. It'll tell you like this is the best weapon to start out with, or here's are these rings locations. I would say look up that instead of walkthroughs of
the areas. That makes more sense. That's true. But yeah, Dark Souls 1 is a very iconic game. That's what spawned all the other fucking Souls games and Souls-like games that came after it. You got some really good bosses in those games too, like the Asylum Demon that you fight, the very first boss that you fight.
The guy with the big butt?
Yeah, the one with the big ass and shit. And then you got...
Any optional though?
No, he's not. I don't think he's optional. I think you have to fight him if I remember correctly. And then you have Smog, I think his name, and Ornstein. Those two enemies you fight in New Orlando, I think. That's a very iconic boss fight that people really remember for being really challenging and shit. Now you see people defeating it with like a fucking guitar from Guitar Hero and shit. So, or like I think I seen someone play it with a banana.
I think so too.
It's fucking crazy the
lengths of these people.
That these people would go to pass Dark Souls and shit. But yeah, I mean that just shows you how devoted the fan base is,
Yeah.
But yeah, that's Dark Souls 1. That made a lot of fucking money, obviously, to make a sequel. And then you have Dark Souls 2. And before we get into Dark Souls 2, it's very important to note that the director of the first Dark Souls did not return to direct Dark Souls 2.
Which his name is... Fuck. Look it up.
Oh, I gotta look it up, man.
While he looks it up, guys, Dark Souls 2...
Looks it up.
Shut up. Dark Souls 2, I played the, I think it's the Scholarship Edition, right?
Scholar of the First Sin?
That one. I picked that one up.
Hidetaka Miyazaki.
Okay.
Yeah, Miyazaki. Hopefully I didn't butcher that.
Yeah, I picked up that version, and... Because I briefly also played Dark Souls 2 on the 360, the one you bought.
Yeah,
I briefly touched it, and I couldn't get into it. But I remember getting into a certain point of the game and stopped. And when I picked up Dark Souls 2, the Scholar of the First Sin, oh my god, you can tell the difference on that game. Because they would add more enemies. They added what's that fucking guy with the shield?
The Pursuer?
The Pursuer.
Yeah. He actually does pursue you.
In certain locations in this game.
Yeah.
So... I don't think maybe some parts, but for the whole game, I didn't go for a walkthrough on that one. It's more linear, I would say, in Dark Souls 2.
So no, you're right. Yeah, because
it's not that how do you say expansive of a world as the other ones.
Yeah, and it doesn't branch out.
It doesn't branch out.
Yeah.
So this one's more linear. So let's back up a little bit. So
okay, the original Dark Souls 2 that came out, that was the one that I played, and that was the one that a lot of people critiqued a lot for being easy, and there were some bosses that were like bullshit bosses that people like just didn't really enjoy, in some areas that were challenging for no reason and shit like that. But for some reason, and I don't know if I'm the only person or in a small minority of people, but I enjoyed the original version of Dark Souls 2 over the updated version
That
of
I
Dark
got.
Souls 2. Yeah, I don't know what it is, and maybe it's because I've gotten more used to playing that one.
Mm-hmm.
But when I jumped into Scholar of the First Sin, I just couldn't get my bearings the way I did with like the original one. It changed so much that I was like,
It did.
and I don't know if it benefited the game. I know this might be a hot take, and there might be a lot of people who disagree, but at least in my opinion, the Scholar of the First Sin just didn't really make it that much better, I think.
I don't think so neither. I think it just made it didn't make it harder. I would say that. And they just added more enemies.
Yeah.
Where didn't make sense. And dude, I don't know what that location's called or what area. It's with the whole bunch of spiders and shit.
Oh yeah.
I was stuck there for a while, dude. I was this close of just dropping the fucking game.
Mm-hmm.
But the inner fucking like what Souls fan or whatever you want to call yourselves, because there has to be a word for these type of people that play these type of games, man. But yeah, I was so close, but yeah, some told me you just fucking finish it, man.
Yeah,
it's that Souls type of. I don't know how to put my finger on it, but yeah, dude, I remember that game being tough in some certain areas. Getting to the last boss area too, that was kind of tough too. I had to see a video how to defeat him because I didn't know what to do. So, and I kind of started the DLC on that one. It was like a underground city or some shit.
yeah.
Pyramids.
What are they called? The Sunken City or something?
I don't know. Yeah, something like that. It was like pyramids,
Mm.
and that's why I say fuck this game, dude. Because it was bullshit. After that, it was just I was done. I was burned out.
I mean, look, Dark Souls 2 is where I first started, so I don't want to shit on it completely, because I mean it's still, like I said, it's still pretty good. It's just not as amazing as fucking Dark Souls 1 or Dark Souls 3 or Bloodborne. Dark Souls 2 just has... I don't think the team behind Dark Souls 2 understood what made Dark Souls 1 like really good. I think that they set out to make a game that was just difficult to be difficult without having any reason to it, like no reason to overcome the adversity like the first one did. And I think most fans will agree with that, that even though it's still a solid game, it just didn't really live up to the hype. Because there were some mechanics that were just, if you die, your health starts to decrease little by little.
Was that in the first one?
That was in the first one. They introduced life gems, which was like alongside with the Estus flask, and a lot of people found the way to just, glitch the system and get a bunch of fucking life gems and just you're set for the entire game, and it made the game a lot easier that way. So there was just a lot of things that were kind of questionable, that a lot of people just didn't really understand. I'm not doing it justice. If you want to know why Dark Souls 2 is infuriating to a lot of the Souls fans, or at least just, me and you, look up this guy named Matthew Matosis, or something his name. He does like a critique of Dark Souls 2, and granted he only does the original version of Dark Souls 2, but he explains it in a lot more in-depth detail about why Dark Souls 2 just isn't as good as the first one.
Okay.
But yeah, jumping off of Dark Souls 2, then we got 3, and 3 was just, that was like the best of all the fucking games that came before it, because it even had some Bloodborne in there too.
Yeah, it did.
I would say.
You can see in it, yeah.
And it still had some influences from like Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 1, obviously. And it just
took all the good parts and just put it into this.
It's a love letter to
the other ones.
To all the other games.
Yeah.
And man, that game was really good too. It's in like my top 3, I would say, in all my Souls games. You know?
Souls, me too, I think.
Yeah.
It's just, it was that fun, you know, jumping off Bloodborne and getting into this other, you know, Souls game. It was,
I feel like Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 3, and Bloodborne are like, well, you can also say 2. All of them are good places to start, but Dark Souls 3 really is a good place to start too if you're new to the genre and you want to see what it has to offer, because it has some shit from Dark Souls 1 too. You know, some bosses that were from Dark Souls 1 are in Dark Souls 3.
Yeah, I remember now.
Yeah, so and you have like weapons that you remember from Dark Souls 1, armor sets from Dark Souls 1, areas
Characters
from fucking Dark Souls 1. Yeah, it's just a huge love letter to the first one. Yeah, I guess you could say the second one too. But man, that game is really good. And then like starting out, right out the fucking gate, you're fighting a boss.
Ain't that with all of them? Even part 2?
Can you do it part 2? I don't remember if you did it part 2.
No, not part 2. I don't think so. Not that I know.
Fuck.
It's been a while since I played Dark Souls.
Yeah. I think you go through like a fucking tutorial area or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like Dark Souls 3 though, you just again jump into a fucking boss fight. You grab the sword. The sword that's like you stick into the bonfire, and that's how you start
the whole
journey and shit. And then you can get one of the best weapons right off the gate too. The
Uchikatana.
The Uchikatana.
That's how I remember.
Getting the weapon though is really fucking tough.
Though, yeah.
You have to fight a pretty tough enemy.
How the fuck did I remember?
And then it just
wasn't took away. Oh, sorry. Wasn't it in the second one or the first one? The Uchikatana.
The first one.
Oh, okay.
Might have been in the second one too. I think it was just different. Played different.
Okay.
Yeah, and then it took out the life gems, I think. If I remember correctly. I don't think it has it in that game. Your health doesn't get cut in half like you did with the second one. So, obviously, they amended a lot of the mistakes from the second one and took a lot of what made Bloodborne good, too, you know, with the third one. Like, the boss fights felt a lot like Bloodborne bosses.
Yeah.
You know? At least some of them did.
They weren't that frustrating.
No, I wouldn't say they were that frustrating.
They were challenging in a fun way, I would say, to me. You know, all those boss battles in part 3 weren't annoying. They were exciting in some way.
Yeah, and you get some pretty sick fucking weapons from it too. If you collect the boss souls and trade them for weapons.
Yeah. So
the hub area is fucking awesome too, and yeah, I don't know, man. I think the third one is just, the more I play it, it's like a fine wine, you know. Like the more you play, the more you appreciate it, the better it gets. And
I think that's also with Bloodborne, man. Or all of them. Fuck it.
Yeah, well, maybe not Dark Souls 2.
There you go.
I feel like I'm hating on that game too much, but Dark Souls 3, I think more in particular.
Like you can tell it was made by someone else. You know, Dark Souls 2.
It even looked different.
Yeah.
It was Team for Teen, for fuck's sake. It wasn't even Infamature.
Was the first one Infamature?
The first one was Infamature.
Liar.
No, I'm not lying.
What about the third one?
It was Infamature.
Really?
Yeah, the second one's the only one that wasn't Infamature. And the enemies didn't like ragdoll or anything. Like, it just fucking disappeared.
I think the guys who did that just heard it's challenging and it's tough. Okay.
Like, you got it.
Yeah, that was it. They didn't make anything fun or like exploring. No, just linear and get your ass kicked.
Well, you know, they didn't make some shit fun, but God,
name one thing. What was fun?
What, with Dark Souls 2?
Yeah. He said it was fun. Name one thing that was fun about that game.
Some of the enemy designs are cool. No, they're all armor though.
Yeah.
I don't know what's good in that game, man.
They just heard it was tough and they put tough enemies and that was it.
Well, I mean, it's still kind of fun to overcome, I guess.
Yeah.
But
okay, sorry about that.
But let's get back on to 3 because I'm tired of talking about 2. But 3 also came out with some DLCs too. That
2, right? 2 different DLCs.
I think it was 2. Yeah. I think it was called the Elden Ring City. No, not the Elden Ring. That's coming out. I don't know what the fuck it was called.
Look it up.
Let me check.
Yeah, he's gonna look it up, guys. Give us a second here.
What is
It's just been a while for us, you know.
I should play Dark Souls 3 now.
Now you want to play?
I want to play it now. The
The one
Ringed
should-
City. So I know I had a
Which
ring
one?
in it. The Ringed City.
What was the other one? There's two.
Is there two?
Yeah, there's a snow place and like a garden place. Another one.
Oh, looks like there's just one.
Fuck off.
I think so.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Wait, it's the second of two.
Yeah, there's two. I know there's two.
What's the other one then? I can't.
Remember you fight the king or something, and like in the desert. Remember, his legs are cut off or something. Remember, like he.
Ashes of Ariandel.
See,
That's what it's
fucker. Thinking I'm tripping over here. There was two. So what was it again?
The Ashes of Ariandel and the Ringed City. Not
Okay.
the Elden Ring. That's the new one that's going to be coming out.
So why did we brought that up for?
Was because I was going to say they came out with 2 DLCs that
Uh-huh.
expanded the game further and gave you more content to play with. And unlike Dark Souls 2, the DLCs for 3 were not fucking frustrating.
You know, and here we go again to bring back Dark Souls 2. What I thought, what in DLC, the DLC of Dark Souls 2. No bullshit. I think in every fucking corner there was a dick with the bow and arrow, or someone they'll stab you.
Or like the walls would fucking shoot.
That too.
arrows.
Every fucking corner.
That fucking. It was like it felt like it was fucking designed by Rick from Rick and Morty. You just couldn't fucking get
You
through
couldn't,
that shit.
dude. That's why every
Or
fucking.
maybe we just suck. I don't know
Well, yeah, maybe.
because obviously we fucking passed it.
But we beat all the other ones. Why we couldn't do the DLC on
You know what
this?
it is? I think it's because we didn't have the patience for it.
Told you.
After Dark Souls 2, I was like, why the fuck do I want to put myself even like through more of this shit, man? If that makes me less of a fan, fine. But I don't know. Dark Souls 2 is just, it's like a love and it's not even a love and hate. I think it's like
Yeah.
a like and hate.
Like,
You know, the more I think about it, the more I'm just shitting on it.
yeah.
Let's stop talking about 3. Let's talk about Sekiro now.
This is on you because I haven't beaten it.
Which is a fucking damn shame, dude. Why haven't you touched it?
Because you can't get any help from anyone.
Oh my god.
And I'm not good with blocking.
With,
Right, you
with
gotta-
blocking?
yeah,
You mean
no,
deflecting?
Deflecting. Sorry.
Right.
You gotta deflect and shit.
Yeah.
I'm not really good at it.
You're missing
I
out.
might give it another shot soon.
Well, look. Let me.
No,
Just,
hold on. You're telling me the same way? You haven't played Neo 2,
Oh,
Code Vein
do you want to get into Neo
Those were
1?
pretty good.
Neo 1, you fucking prick. You deleted my save.
by accident.
It still doesn't matter.
You didn't go that far neither, you
No,
whiny fuck.
I made it like at least 2/3 into the game, you fucking prick.
No, you did.
Yes, I did.
You know, you left off with the fucking blob. That's like the third.
No, I went through that, and then after I was done that, I went through like a little bit of the next area, and then that's when you fucking deleted all my shit.
So?
Like the day you start playing Sekiro is the day I'll start playing those other games.
Will you play Neo 2?
I don't know, maybe we'll see.
I can't believe people say that Neo is one of the toughest like games to beat. And I beat those 2 games with like.
We need to make another podcast about the Souls like games because there's a bunch.
Yeah.
You got like the Surge, you got Lords of the Fallen, you have Neo, and you have
Code
Code
Vein.
Vein.
There's this dumb man, our friend trying to get me into the Remnant.
Come on, dude.
Sorry.
That's fucked up, man. Come on.
He's my dumb friend.
Jesus. Why do you have no fucking friends?
Yeah, you neither, asshole.
Yeah, I do.
Who?
Okay, we're getting off topic. Let's talk about Sekiro, okay?
Okay, so you played it more than me, like I said. So what's your
More
thought?
than me, I passed it, and
That
boy, was that fucking challenging.
I remember you got sick on that one too. So
Yeah, but you're probably right. I came down with the cold.
I remember that you came back and You played until like 2 or 3 in the morning trying to beat that.
I was listening to Adele.
Tell
and
us your
everything.
journey of Sekiro. Tell us what you like.
Sekiro is completely different from all the other games. I mean, it still has the same difficulty, if not more so, than the Souls games, and a little bit of mechanics sprinkled in from the past Souls games, but it's completely different. For one, you don't collect any different weapons. It's just the one that you fucking got. You don't get any help, like you mentioned, so it's all on your own. The way you even upgrade is different too. You don't just level up your weapons and shit like that. It's such a different experience, and I think that might throw a lot of fans off from playing Sekiro. But once you get adjusted to it, and when you start playing it, man, that game is so fucking good. And the combat is just at its best. I think this is like the best that FromSoftware has ever done combat.
This one's more of a, correct me if I'm wrong, like stealth based kind of, or no? Is it more kind of like
you can approach certain situations stealthily, and take out enemies without being seen. But sooner or later, you're gonna start, not giving a fuck if you end up dying a lot. You're just gonna start running through the fucking areas and taking out the enemies one by one and shit like that. But there is incentive to go through it, stealthily. Like, you can take out the fucking most toughest boss first and then take out the rest without alerting anyone and shit like that. But what really is the bread and butter is like deflecting and shit like that. And I think, I don't know what her name is. I think her name, the boss fight's name, I think she starts with Lady some shit. It's not Lady some shit. It's something else. It's a Lady Butterfly or something. I don't know what the fuck it is. It's been a long time, but once you go through that boss fight, you're good for you learn how to deflect, and it starts to click with you, because before then it's just
don't you have
really
to beat her
tough.
like twice though, or once?
I think you have to beat her twice in the same boss fight. But you have to beat her twice. But if you haven't learned before then, that boss fight teaches you how to fucking deflect and use your surroundings and shit like that. That's what makes it so fucking genius, man. It's the reason why it won Game of the Year.
How was that boss fight with the monkeys?
That was fucking tough.
Really?
Yeah.
Then you have to fight 2 of them later on?
Later on, yeah. Wait, I don't think they're as difficult, but...
Alright, let's get to the bread and butter. Bread and butter here. Bread and butter of the... of the last boss battle. That you also got sick. You took a break.
Oh my god. Maybe it's just me. Like I said, maybe I fucking suck, but it took me so fucking long to beat that boss. It at this point, you have to use everything that you've learned to defeat this boss. Like fucking dodging, you have to do it perfectly. Deflecting, you have to do it perfectly. Like you fuck up
once, you're done.
You're in for. You're cruising for a bruising, as they say. But like you have to do everything right in order to defeat that boss. And I think because you fight. I think there's 2 bosses, like two bosses, and each of them have their own phase too.
Yeah,
it's just but once you overcome it, feeling in the
I want to stay up, but I got told because it was like 2 or 3 in the morning. Like, these dudes never gonna beat this guy. Man. All I remember, he was running in circles.
Yeah,
because he throws like fireballs or something at you, right?
Yeah, some shit like that.
And you kept running over and over, and well, this is not fun.
Yeah.
But what made you how'd you figure him out? Like,
one word, and that's Adele. Okay. When I started listening to Adele, everything clicked. I did everything perfectly. It was like water under the bridge.
That's the song.
That was the song that I beat him to. That sounded weird when I said beat him to. Defeated him to was with water under the bridge.
Okay.
So a little tip: if you can't beat the final boss,
Listen to Adele.
just listen to Adele.
Which song?
I did that Water on the Bridge because I did it with Bloodborne as well, and that was Remedy from Adele,
Which one?
the DLC boss.
Oh, I think so.
I listened to Adele too. She's amazing. She's an amazing artist.
Okay, so there you go, guys. So if you get in trouble with boss battles, listen to Adele.
Yeah, or whatever you want. And that's what I do, anyways.
So, yeah, since you beat Sekiro, you haven't touched it since. So, why are you giving me shit, Albert? Huh?
It's because there's a lot of other games I need to go through.
But not like with Bloodborne and Dark Souls 3, you right away started with the New Game Plus or another round of the Soul games. With Sekiro, you just...
I almost made it through because I remember playing it right after, but I just got burnt out, I think.
With the boss, I would say so.
Yeah, so... But, and obviously we can't talk about this one yet, but Elden Ring, that's coming out.
Oh, dude, the trailer we saw?
That's going to be... Once that drops, if our podcast is still around,
we'll see.
We'll make another episode and talk about that, perhaps. But I think that'll do it because we haven't played Demon Souls, so we can't talk about that.
No.
I briefly touched it
On the PS3.
but I never like played it, and I haven't obviously never played the remastered because fucking PS5s don't exist right now. So, but once we do play it, we'll also do another one of that as well. But we'll probably revisit some of these games and talk about it more in length, like we said, like with Bloodborne. But man, it was fun to talk about these games. And you know, to kind of end it on a high note, one thing that the reason why I really love these games is because it helped me with anxiety, and it helped me battle through depression, and in a lot of ways it teaches you how to overcome adversity.
And even though it sounds cheesy, but yeah, it's true.
Yeah. So, you know, if you're someone out there who has been dealing with, you know, like anxiety and depression and are finding an escape through video games, you know, give those games a try, because what you're gonna find is a really challenging game, but
you get lost in the
lost in the world and
the music, the atmosphere, everything. Yeah,
and you overcome that challenge, and there's no other game that makes you feel like you've accomplished something. Much less like video games are just like an escape, but Dark Souls is different. You know, you feel like you're doing something.
Yeah.
And you feel like you're evolving as a fucking player. I feel like I'm rambling on a little too much, but I think that's the reason why I love
Dark Souls and
Bloodborne and Sekiro, even though they make me sick, you know. But man, they're really great. So if you haven't played it and you're listening to this podcast, I recommend picking up Bloodborne or Dark Souls 3, any of them really. Just jump in and just enjoy it.
Have fun.
And if you're lucky enough to have a PS5, fucking pick up Demon Souls as well, because that game I hear is really good.
So yeah,
and leave a comment down below or whatever.
Let us know. Yeah,
and tell us if we suck and that we don't know we don't know what the fuck we're talking about.
Yeah.
Or
if you like it, subscribe.
Comment how many times Edgar's have said, you know, therefore.
Have you said that so much?
Go on, then on and go forth or some shit.
Shut up.
Or, you know, make fun of this. I don't know where the fuck I'm going with this. Anyways, we're going to end it here. We're going to come back with another episode. We're not really sure what it's going to be about. But,
like always, so
yeah, because
stay tuned, guys.
Yeah, we do this shit whenever we feel like it. Don't expect this to be a weekly thing all the time.
We'll see. We don't know yet. So,
yeah. But anyways, that's been Two Brothers. I'm Alberto.
Edgar. Two brothers.
That's Two Brothers.